Hello all, Dr. Fox back here with you. The weekend update. We got World Boss to talk about. That drop. We got rating, a little little tip and trick, and a few other little things in there. And you guys can enjoy. Where's Miss Mora? Right over there. Yeah. All right. Well, here, let's get into this, shan't we? Dr. Fox back here with you with the weekend update. I hope you had a good first week. And I'm so ecstatic that the hubby's home. And just all I'm going to say about that is we're going to be able to get into Zerath Mortis, and I hope you're getting into Zerath Mortis and getting settled in there if you're playing it. And with that, a new world boss has dropped. I think it's pronounced something like Antros or Antros at the top, tippity top of the map up there. I know some were looking around for that little portal for a bit, and yeah, I got into that, and thankfully it drops item level like 259, so it's worth doing. I did the time walking this past weekend too. We'll get into that when we get into the calendar. And I did it 5 times. It gives you, I think it was a 252 piece, and I got a crossbow. I usually don't get a weapon, and I went from a 233 up to a 252 or 255 crossbow. It made definitely a big difference with that as well. How are you all doing with your raids? Are you doing it with some guilds? Are you waiting for the LFR to go live? Have you even tried? I tried it with another group, but we kept dying, and I think we lasted about, Miss Mora, there she goes. I just want to grab her. And I was in there for about 45 minutes. Everybody just kind of gave up. And when I came into one where the first boss was already taken down. So I sadly have not been able to get through any of these. I do have the quest that leads up to, and then you've got to get, actually I have a quest that you've got to get like 4, I think it's 4 shards or 4 swords to get to Anduin. I haven't completed that yet. We barely, like I said, we just kept dying with one boss we tried doing, and we couldn't even get through that. Another awesome head boy. I wish I'd known about this one. And I guess maybe, I don't know whether it didn't connect or what, but if you're putting together that little cipher system with your little, how do you pronounce that little guy? Pokobach? I don't know, the little guy. But instead of putting on different enhances, which I do want to do eventually, but it seems if you go to this little vendor over there, in the upper, I think it was over by the Ever Hollows area, and if you unlock it's on the second tier. I think it was the second tier. Don't quote me on that. The cipher, what was it called there? My apologies. The Altonian Understanding. If you can get that one unlocked, I would have done that sooner. That gives you a quest that leads over to this little vendor character named Ali Manu, and there's a recipe there. And then right below it, there's for 150 of the little ciphers, you get 50% more. And the best part is it's bound. It's not bound. It's Blizzard account bound, so you can buy them with more ciphers and send them to alts. So even before you start bringing alts out there, if you decide to do that, you'd be able to already have 50%. And I wish I'd known that. I ended up unlocking, there's this one where you end up going over to meet this little vendor character that will let you make new pets and things. Kind of like for the way you did out on Mechagon. There was a robot out there that would let you make different types of things and some toys and things. And this is a vendor that will let you make certain pets. And there's a couple mounts in there. And you can go to here's a tip for you. If you go to the south and you just farm that area of those little those little weeds there that look sort of like, if you play Plants vs Zombies, it looks sort of like a plant like that. And if you just farm them, they'll drop sometimes 1 or 2 of those items you need. There's some harder items to get, which are much more pricier. But but then I forgot where the vendor was, and I'm like, I gotta look that up. I can't remember where to go. So I'm going to try to help my hubby get through the intro, and we're excited to kind of jump in together and kind of work on that. I've been leveling a couple of my others. I think I just finished I was all excited the other night. I think I had just hit 60 with my rogue, Kittery, my little character. And I was all excited. I was like, log boxes! I had been accumulating so many log boxes to unlock. And I was so ecstatic we got that one. I still want to level my mage, but I have gotten the mage high enough so that she can make at least 32 slot bags, but I need a lot of materials, crafting materials, crafting regents as they call it in the game. And then over on the other server, I think I finally got my druid last night to level 59. I was all excited. And I was like, you know, I have a few warglaives on this server. You can't send an item like that across servers. And of course, you try to send it to Horde on another server, and first off, it goes, you can't do that across servers. Secondly, it goes, you can't send it to opposite faction. You might be able to after we get the faction thing, but I think that's more about like when you run raids or when you run battlegrounds, you'll have more the opposite characters coming together for that. I think they're gonna kind of introduce it slowly. They're not gonna just give you access to everybody can suddenly all of a sudden quit, because that's a lot of programming language to really work out. Excuse me, because. And I think with this cipher languaging, I think this would be a great segue. I know others have said this as well, content creators. I think if you learn the cipher language, it would allow you maybe to do this one little mini quest when we get back to Azeroth and we're not dead anymore, or the undead, or whatever we want to call ourselves in the Shadowlands, the Maw Walker. But when you get out there, it would be neat if you had like a little mini quest that would take you through to like start learning the, like say if you're Alliance, the Orcish language, and then if you're an Orc, start learning sort of the English, if you will, of how it's announced in here, or whatever language it might be, whatever you're playing on other servers from. But I think with that, I think today we're gonna this one's very, very well played with. This is pulled out from our Transformer Museum this weekend, and as we continued on more of the mini bots, I should say, I don't want to really say mini cons, because there are actually mini cons, and there's a little group of them. There's like a little white Jeep in there, and there's this little group of them. But I thought today I'd bring out my good. Now I know he's been reissued too, and he looks a bit better, and this poor guy's been through so much heck, and he's still my good old Gen 1 Huffer. If any of you remember G1, when he actually took Optimus Prime's trailer after his big fight with Megatron, Huffer came in, and this little bugger right here, let me bring it up to the camera there, this poor guy, you can tell his little silver stacks are like really worn and gray, and like it's, this little guy's been played with a lot. Anyway, he would come in and he'd transform, and he pulled in, and he took, I mean, this little bugger had the strength to pull Optimus Prime's trailer behind him. I mean, that's the literally that this little guy can do here. So here's Huffer. I really thought he was very cute, with a voice actor who pulled him off in Gen 1 as well. And then you can see this poor stacks are starting to fall down. Sadly, I was going to replace him too, but I was like, look, there's only so much I can do here. Oh, speaking of that, I'm all excited. We will show it at some point as we start moving into Gen 2, or not Gen 2, Gen 1 Season 2 characters. When we get to Perceptor, the reissue of the 86 Studio Series finally arrived for me the other day. I was getting all excited. We got a box, and I was like, from the processing center. I was like, what's this? And I don't remember ordering anything. And then I opened it, I'm like, oh yeah! I was all excited. So I think with that, I love my calendar kitties. And so I decided to level a Demon Hunter. That's what I was talking about earlier. So we'll just pop in. And I did try to do Chiana from Farscape. Those that know Farscape will know the reference to that character. I actually did pretty good, making her look sort of like gray, whitish when some of her skin was available. And I did a wig, or not wig, but like the hair similar to that type of character in here. But you can't really see it. I ended up putting on one of the BlizzCon outfits that she got. So I started to level that one a bit. But it's not about leveling. We're going to get into it. So, of course, like we said, the world boss is up once a week once you kill that one. I didn't get over there until I did the next chapter, but I think it's now available for you to just fly over there without doing the chapter, if I'm understanding right. I just don't remember seeing it till then. Maybe they didn't add it in, because I know a lot of people were looking for that portal to shoot over there. And of course the next 8 raid bosses. This Tuesday, the last 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, I think the last 3 bosses will be available starting this Tuesday. We have Darkmoon Fair dropping tomorrow. Time walking, great time right now. This is why I've been leveling my alts right now, because it's an excellent time walking, especially in my My favorite dungeons are the Mists of Pandaria dungeons. They're one of the shorter dungeons you get through very quickly, in my opinion. Especially right now, some of the tanks that run it as demon hunters, they just go through and plow through those characters so well with some of the higher level item levels. And so we have this week, any dungeons you ran for the week, those are resetting as well. Sepultura are the first ones. That's the next segment. I'm going for that. I'm sure like Mechagon, after a little while, they'll probably segue and break those two raids up into two separate raids. I know they'll also be on LFR. Will be different segments of it coming as well. The LFRs will be starting. We should be getting also our next chapter to work on as well. This Tuesday, Time Walking will be ending. Shadowlands Dungeon event, that's beginning. That's the event where if you run it, you usually get one extra piece of gears that drops at the end of running the dungeon. For you PvPers, oh, here it is. Make sure to go get your potion. This is only up a couple times a year. The PvP Brawl, South Shore versus Torrent Hill is back up again. PvP Brawl, Temple of the Hot Mugu, that is ending this week as well. So that at least gives you a little bit of some goodies to keep you going. If you're not even playing WoW anymore, to share with me what you're working on, what you've moved on to. I'm just really curious. I'm excited. Yeah, you could probably see this poor red spot. I suffer with eczema, and sometimes I just wish I had a good steroid shot. To get that, I have a few patches that pop up this time of year. I'll be glad when the weather continues to get better. As it gets better, and hopefully I'm not as stressed out as often, because a lot of that comes from stress too. But I treat it, and I treat it, and I treat it. I don't like those folks who are like, Dr.Fox, like, you gotta go treat it. It's not about that. And then I try to get in with a skin doctor, right? And first off, they'll book me like 6 months out. I don't need treatment 6 months from now. Look, I get it, okay? I'm not trying to say get me in, like I'm more important than hundreds of other people that need skincare right now too. But they should have like some emergency slots open, like on a Friday afternoon or something, or morning or whatever, like to squeeze a few people in that have these sort of rashy emergencies. And yes, I've used Eucerin. I used every no-name brand you can think. I've had every moisturizer. I've tried the number 7 or 9 from Europe. Supposedly one of the greatest moisturizers ever, as they advertise it. And no, shout out to you guys. Look, I love that stuff. It's just, but all I'm saying is I've tried like all these different types of things, and I just can't find something. And I'm not going to get on that medication. There's too many side effects, and then you need like 5 other medications to offset the medication side effects. And I'm not going to have that happen with my hormone therapy right now. And then of course you got your, Dr.Fox. This eczema comes with hormone therapy. I'm well aware of what my side effects are of hormone therapy. I've been on it since 27, cough, cough. But it's that kind of feeling, and I think with that and it's been kind of crazy around here. That's a few of the things I've been working on. We're just trying to get settled in and kind of work on the chaos and get through the chaos to the best of my ability. And I think with that, we're going to kind of leave it there. Take something else. Take that deep breath. And then try to pull yourself through this next week. I know it's not easy. I know it's not. I know it's hard. Sucks butt sometimes. And I feel for you more than I can ever put words into. And I hear you. I hope that holds you through for another week. Hope you get an opportunity to take a couple of seconds to recharge at some place that doesn't let you get overwhelmed or let you have to, God forbid, turn to some sort of cutting or have to turn to chemical dependency of some sorts, and allow you to kind of pull back and feel and keep the strength in you to stay strong, to pull from. Because I know how easily anxiety and all these other struggles are to just either pop a pill or mask it with this thing or that thing, and it's not so easy. And of course we know it's easier said than done. And when you're dealing with a drug that is highly, I almost said highly contagious. I mean in a sense, if you look at it metaphorically and psychologically. What I mean is when something like that can be, and I know I'm kind of dark there. I'm just trying to help hang in there and let you know. And I know others are like, okay, Dr. Fox, that's enough. But I think with that, try to find your inner self for a couple of days and get through that next week if you can. Take that breather. Call me next time we're on there. And once again, we know the drill. We will see you later.